life. And now I can't, I truly can't explain how I ended up here and what I'm doing now. So that's why I constantly know it's his work. 100.
Amen. Yeah, Tyler, and yeah, again, I can relate to everything you said. And as I'm listening to all you guys, it just seems like we all kind of have, different specific circumstances, but all kind of the same story, right? Like it all changed us the same way. And that is it's more proof that it is, completely 100% real. What we believe, this truth has brought us all together and is changing the world. And I truly do believe that. And I believe it can change the world and maybe alter the outcome, at least to some degree. But we can get into that later. But thank you, Tyler. It's an honor to have you here with us, and so glad to have met you and have your fellowship. Okay, Andy.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Andy. Thank you for having me. It's my first time being on a on a video with other people, so I'm very excited. But I mean, I'll try to keep it I'll try to keep it short. I kind of well, my family was like always an atheist family, so there was nothing of God. But as I grew up, I've always just always felt like something is wrong with the world. Like kind of seeing how people just like would, I don't know, like History Channel was a big thing for me when I was a little kid, and I'm like, how can you guys look at this like aliens and whatever, like strange things being found, and like go back to work tomorrow? Like it just like nothing, nothing matters. But anyway, I'll cut to the chase. When I was a teenager, I kind of started getting into, I guess, conspiracies. I started learning about like Britney Spears and whatever was happening to her, and kind of how satanic Hollywood was. Um, Eventually, my journey led me into a lot of New Age, a lot of strange witchcraft and channeling spirits. My life was kind of crazy. I had just experienced a lot of paranormal activity while I was doing these things. I would wake up with bruises and things like that. It would take a toll on me, but I was thinking that I was connecting with this higher being or whatever, and this was the right way. Anyway, it took me to it was two things that kind of led me to Jesus. It was um this guy called Stephen Bankars. He went from New Age to Jesus, and kind of showed how all of those New Age practices are actually witchcraft. And that's when I also realized, like, hey, like all these Masons that I don't like, I'm doing the same thing as them. I'm reading books by oh gosh, now I forget his name. Um, but anyway, I had a bunch of like Masonic books, and I was just like, well, I'm using it for good. They're using it for evil. Um, and as time went on, I just got more pulls toward Jesus. Until this one day, um, I don't know. It just sounds crazy, but I had this like large shadowy figure appear in front of me. Um, and I thought I was gonna die that day. I was feeling all choked up. I couldn't breathe anymore, and I just remember in that moment, just falling on my knees and calling out to Jesus. And I'd already like kind of like prayed to, whatever's out there to be like to show me, who is God really. Anyway, from that point on, after I had this whole big revelation and cast away all my witchcrafty belongings and books. Um, I was just a futurist like most people, and I knew that Jesus would one day return. This was in 2019. Um, and I delved into the scriptures. I got into a lot of Zen Garcia, who's like one of my favorite researchers. I love the guy. Gary Wayne as well. I think you guys might know these names. Um, but then one day, it was 2021, I came across this video by exploring Tartaria. She had two parts up at the time. It was just the first one and then her timeline calculation. And when I watched those, I kind of just like everything just shattered. I was like, whoa. Well, first I thought I was in hell. I thought, okay, something's wrong. But I mean, as time went on, it took me a couple of days to kind of realize, like, okay, where am I at really? I started reading the scriptures more and just seeing these, like, I guess, time indicators on, where we truly are on the biblical timeline, and actually seeing, like, yes, Jesus said these things, like, oh, he did return in that generation and things like that. So um yeah, from that point on, I think I was on Telegram already. And I was, well, me and one other, we started the channel on Telegram, Tartaria and Biblical Research. Um and it was just, I mean, honestly, it was just to share research, but it just kind of got traction at the time. And we just started writing posts together, um kind of, to get people to think for themselves, not just to spoon feed anything. I don't want people to be like, like, give us a king, that like have a spokesperson, give us a king that we can be like other nations. But just really think for themselves. Um and yeah, I mean, that went well. I learned a lot in those days. It was I think it was like about almost 3 years of extensive posting. And it was on whatever, it was on the little season. That's when we made our timeline calculation, the one which I have up on the channel right now. At the time, we had 9 years left, according to my belief. Now it's like 4 or 5. But yeah, I ended up taking a break at the time to focus on family. That didn't really go well. A lot of breaking happened in those times, and had to learn a lot. I think, kind of like what Grady was saying, I had fallen into, well, I mean, I was a Baptist, so I was with the NIFB. And I kind of became like Pharisee-like, honestly. Um, and Yeah, well, I had to learn a lot. Had to be humbled a lot. Took a solid break from Telegram. Left it to my friend on there. And yeah, I came back recently, last year, honestly. Started writing posts again, recovering the channel because it got axed. I was posting some things on the Tiny Hat people. So anyway, yeah, no, then I decided, maybe, well, after posting a lot of things, I just realized, like, I'm posting like way too much. Like, this is like so much reading. I was like, why don't I just start making videos? And then at the time I met Tyler, who was getting on YouTube as well, and he was very encouraging to get me to start making videos. And I think about 3 months ago or 4 months ago, I finally did it. And so that's where I'm at right now. Kind of my story on getting to little season, and you know, um, just trying to, help this community, share what I think and know, and have people think for themselves and do their own research. Um, I think that's kind of it. Just really glad to see how fruitful this community has been and how big it's become. In the time that I took a break, I honestly didn't look back at all at anything. And when I came back, I saw names like, I mean, I'd never heard of Understanding Conspiracy, honestly, or like any of you guys had never seen before until like last year. So I kind of like completely took a break, actually. But seeing how beautiful it is now, it's just it's such a blessing. And even, it's been hard going to church for me. I don't go to church anymore, but what I do these days is just, I mean, anybody I know and talk to, I do this Bible study in person, and I just tell everybody about Little Season there, and I've successfully convinced many people uh of the Little Season, and they really, it's such a new, like, I mean, it's not new because that's just what it was all the time, but it's just a fresh perspective for people to read the scripture. So I think I've kind of said all I need to say, but thank you guys for having me, and I'm excited to, see where this conversation goes.
Thank you, Andy. Andy, did you say you have a channel, a YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, yeah, the same as the Telegram channel. So it's Tartaria and Biblical Research. The Tartaria part is honestly just a bait and switch. It's like that was kind of the name that was going around at the time, of course, and they were exploring Tartaria and all these things, but it's just to get people to look at it, and then like they'll get hit with the gospel.
Okay, great. Yeah. And I will put everyone's YouTube channels on the screen, so that people can can go check you guys out. Well, thank you, Andy. It's a pleasure to meet you, and it's an honor to have you here with us. And again, a very, familiar story. It's like we all kind of share the same background a little bit to some degree, right? We all end up in the same place, and a lot of the times it starts with conspiracy theories and learning about how truly evil and wicked everything is. That's how I found my way here. And Andy, you said something about about church, and I wanted to kind of bring this to the group. I'm kind of curious, of everyone here, and we can just have like an open discussion, but like Andy said, how do you kind of go back to your church, once you know this, and then because for me, it's been a struggle, and I don't want to get too personal about it, but I don't know if I think some of the people at my church have seen my videos now, and it's very it's awkward when I go to church because I've said some things about that they got some things wrong, and so if you guys does anyone want to speak to that about how you deal with if you are going to church, how do you deal with it? Do you bring it up to people? Do you just kind of fall in line and pretend like nothing's wrong? Or
for me, we haven't been to church for a while because it's been so weird. Wait, here, stop. And I even called my pastor. I said, "Hey, what do you think?" I said, "Do you think maybe we might be in a little season?" He goes, "You really think so?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh," and they don't. It's like nothing's there. It's just weird. It's just church is just not the same. So I just don't go right now. It's really sad. I'm praying, Lord, help me find something somewhere to go, because I like being with the body, with fellow people, but they're just so like, you try to have a Bible study and they don't even want to talk about the Bible. They're just talking about we're going to be going to a concert or we're going to Disneyland tomorrow. It's like, well, we're talking about the Bible right now. So it's just weird time.
Yeah. I agree. I hear that a lot too.